Yeah, no, not at all. I Google myself on the regular and nothing pops up. There's a rugby player named Josh Larsen, and there's a like a Christian music guy named
Do you
Josh Larsen.
really?
No, I don't. Well, now that I know that I'm saying that there's people out there who are the same, I have done it before.
Well, yeah.
I don't do it on the regular, but I have done it before.
I think that's one thing I haven't done.
Well, yeah. Have you done anything that people would Google your name for? Huh?
Here, at Beans.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at Beans. My name is Josh. We have Rachel in the studio. This is the podcast Dying on the Inside. Today we have comedian, podcaster Kris Cox joining us. Kris, thanks for joining us. Ooh, I like that. That might be the smoothest hello we've had yet.
That's actually just how I always say hello on PS4. Anytime like I join up into a party with AC, Buongiorno.
You big on the headset when you play, or like only on certain games?
I really only need it if I'm like playing with other people and I want to talk to them.
You don't like randomly go against people and then talk?
No.
Well, like I play Madden.
Okay.
And there are times where I would like to talk to them, but you can just, I have a PS5, so you click the little button, you can do it, whatever. But I don't win enough to feel confident to talk to them.
Talk shit.
Right. Because it ends up being a 13-year-old kid on Madden who's just whooping the hell out of me, trying to wonder why I keep using the I formation, because apparently only players over 30 use the I formation in the game. And so I just don't. I just have to mute it, and I have to mute the whole thing so I can't hear them yell at me.
Have you considered leaving it on so that you can hear what they're yelling at you, so that you can, and I mean this in like the spirit of like a good friend, be better?
I guess. Sometimes I think the things that they say that they want to do to my mom are not going to make me better at the game.
That is true. Okay, but you as an adult know that there is knowledge within the stupidity of these 13-year-old kids.
I guess that's
and you
true.
got to ignore that dumb shit to find the things that actually matter.
I think you're overestimating my adultness.
All right.
It does sound like me, though, when you were telling me you hate the, like, storyline of it. And having to do all those practices and things. And I was like, well, maybe if you did them.
You'd like be better at the game.
You're not gonna sit through the tutorial. Like, of course not. Let's go. Let's play.
Look, you say that, but like, okay, so AC and I started playing Mortal Kombat against each other. And AC went through the tutorial. And I went through my natural button mash talent.
Right.
Because really, fighting games have like 8 configurations, and once you figure out which one this particular game is in, you have a basic idea of what your combos are going to be. Right? And so I've got an idea. And like the first time we started going at it, right, I was doing pretty great. And then AC went through that tutorial, and he's like, nope. And like he's just right outside of my reach for like half the fucking game, and I'm like, okay, so they showed you where hitboxes are. That's more than a tutorial, AC. That's
Here, I'll give you your credit, and I'll tell you a Mortal Kombat story if you go put Loki upstairs so she stops whining. So I downloaded Mortal Kombat 10. They put it out on the PlayStation Network for free.
I've got 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing. And then Rachel was like, oh, you playing Mortal Kombat? I used to love to play that. Let's play 2. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll goof around with it for a bit. And then she beat me like 8 games in a row. Really bad. And it was one of those ones where like the glutton for punishment, I kept going because eventually I was going to beat her. I figured that.
You're like, I'm going to get it.
I'm going to win. And then I had to stop. Again, it was ridiculous. It was like 8, 9 games that she ended up beating me. Before I was like, all right, I'm done. And then I deleted the game. I needed the space. Look, I needed the space on the PlayStation. I can always download it again. But
I have, in the last 10 minutes, Mr. Larsen, I have learned more about your ego than I've ever known in the, like, 3 years we've known each other.
It's very fragile.
I did not know that until today.
Kris, we have you here not only because you're a comedian that we've known for a bit, you're also a podcaster. You have your Everything and Nothing podcast.
That is correct.
So how long have you been doing the podcast now?
Are we talking this incarnation of it, or how did I start podcast?
That's what I want to go. Let's go there. How long you been doing podcasting?
We're on like year 3.
Okay.
What happened is, if you go searching for it, you can find Joshua Talks at great length about everything and nothing, with special guest hosts Charlie Hickmott and Kris Cox. Which I tried to tell him was too long.
Was this Joshua Enoch?
No.
No, okay.
No. So, funny thing about Charlie and Josh, they're not comedians.
Okay.
Joshua was, at that time, the frontman for a band called Rainbow Electric, which, like, it basically goes as far as deadheady bands. I would say Grateful Dead, GBB, Rainbow Electric, as far as the Portland area is concerned. And then Charlie was his drummer. Joshua and I lived together for like 2 years. And the entire time we were living together, we were like, we should just put up cameras in this house and record the shit we say. And we talked about doing a podcast for forever. And then after we moved away from each other is when he finally went, I've had all the shit to do a podcast this whole time. I should just do it. And then he started it with Charlie, and they got 1 episode out, and then Joshua brought me on as a special guest, and then I never left. He was like, oh, I like this. I like the 3 of us. What happens if we bring a 4th person in? And then it kept being 4 people for a while, and I was just the 3rd host eventually.
Sometimes it's nice when you have that person kind of come in and you're like, ooh, this works. And then, this really works. Yeah. You get farther through, like, this is really working.
And then eventually, Joshua went off to go do other things. He's actually pretty big on Twitch.
Oh, nice.
You can go find him there. Smirk Studios is what you want to look up for him. And he does all kinds of shit. He was an animator before he was a musician. Fucking jack of all trades, this man. And he does a bunch of shit out there. And then he left to go do that. And so Charlie and I just had a podcast. And we're like, I don't know, what the fuck are we going to do with this? Do we want to stop? Not really. Okay. So what do we do? Because it used to be a bit more structured than it is now, which may have been better. I'm not going to lie. But at this point, I get such weird shit out of it that I have a hard time deciding to rein people into a thing.
Right. He acquired a bunch of land in Hawaii. And he is making an animal rescue. And so he already has a couple of kittens because these kittens were like strays that he just started taking care of. He's got some chickens now, or is going to get chickens because there was a neighbor who hates these chickens in their backyard and wants them gone. So he's scooping them up and taking them.
How the fuck did you get chickens in your backyard that you didn't put there?
Dude, it's the wild, man. It's Hawaii. I don't know. I don't know how that island life works, but he is making it happen. Chickens
aren't moose. They don't just fucking wander around.
Have you ever seen a chicken in the wild?
No.
Well, do you go in the wild in Hawaii? Because we're not talking like he's on a main road. I think we're off like dirt road.
Well, I would assume with an animal rescue, you got to be pretty back out of the way.
Yeah, there can't be like a Safeway behind you.
No, that's gonna.
I feel like I watch enough. I watch enough nature documentaries that there are no chickens in the wild.
Apparently, there are.
They used to be.
I mean,
they had to have been.
Well, now they're going to be at his animal rescue, so they're not wild anymore. I don't know.
I don't think that's how animal rescues work.
Look,
I think they're still wild.
I'm excited for him.
I don't always click more on Facebook. Like, so if somebody has like a long bit of writing, understand that I read the first couple sentences and I'm most likely to not click more.
You would have fucked up the entire narration of Super Trooper, or not Super Troopers, Starship Troopers. They'd have been like, "Would you like to know more?" And you'd be like, "Nah,
I'm good, thanks."
The end.
Okay.
Can we make this a character for you? Kind of like Pete Davidson has Chad. We're like, instead of just being a fuck up, you're just like, nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I feel like those are your two main catchphrases in life.
I tried to work this at Kelly's at an open mic, but there was that bit of reading. William Shatner went off into space, reading about that and how he floated in space for 3 seconds and then came down. And I looked at her and I asked, like, "Hey, if they said, would you like to do this for free? We're not. It's free. It's on us. Come do this." Nah, I'm good. I've seen Armageddon. I understand what space is like. I'm good. For 3 seconds, it's gonna take them an hour to strap me into my seat. Like, I'm not floating for. No, you're not wasting a week of my time. Because that's the other part. You don't just. You gotta
do some shit.
You gotta prep. You gotta take care of yourself. Do all these little things up ahead. So, worst case scenario, you have to prep for a week. To be able to
I
go
will
in
say
space.
it can't be that hard. Fucking William Shatner did it.
That's true. That's true.
I'm sorry, William Shatner. Please be on Everything and Nothing at some point. But you can't tell me that you're a very physically fit man. I can see you.
Right. We have eyes. That's a good point. He is 90. His body is very fragile.
And he made it.
And he did manage. I guess maybe that's why they were only in space for 3 seconds. That's how long his body can handle and bring it back down.
He's really 90?
He's 90.
Did you say only?
No, I said, is he really?
Okay.
I was like, oh,
I was
no.
gonna be like, how fucking old do you think William Shatner? How old are you? Was gonna be the follow up to that. Look, we're just not in that reality. It's fine.
Off camera, I will tell you.
All right, so you've been podcasting for 3 years. How long you been doing stand-up?
Okay. So we're looking at 9 years is what we found out. Because my first time doing comedy ever, the first recorded, which was actually my second time ever. Because I did not let anybody record the first one.
Sure.
I knew it was going to be bad, and I was right.
Yep.
And then the second one was also pretty bad, and I was also right about that.
So people can find that on your Instagram?
It is on my Facebook.
Oh, you do have it up. Okay.
It's in there. I don't have it hidden from anybody. If you want to search that far back, if you want to know how bad it was, you can find out. I will say that of that first video, there was only one salvageable joke, and I knew it that night. And that one joke did stay with me for 3 years.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Like it's a usable joke if I can ever actually figure out how to end it, which you might have recognized is a real problem I have with most things.
That's pretty good though to still be able to pull one for a while off of your.
I could use it now even.
I mean that's nice. That's how you know it's good writing.
Like, yeah, no, it was pretty solid. And then so I did really bad at comedy for like 9 months because what it was is there was a bar in Fairbanks called the Marlin. And the Marlin was the only open mic I could find in town. But it was a music open mic. And I would get drunk and stoned enough to not care. Every Wednesday for 6 months, I would go write my name on this fucking list. And a man who is internationally known as Ukulele Russ was the host of this mic, and he would bring me up every week. And after 6 months, he pulled me to the side, and he was like, "Hey, buddy, I need you to do me like a huge fucking favor." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, what's that?" Because I knew who he was, and I was very surprised that he knew who I was. And he's like, "Yeah, I need you to write the word comedian after your name, please." And I said, "Why?" And he's like, "Kris, you're not, like, terrible. I need you to know that. But you will never have the attention of a crowd if you don't help your host help you. And I was like, oh, because I was dumb. I'm still pretty dumb, but I learned from that. And like, sure enough, 6 months from there, a fun thing started happening where I'd already gone through the Fairbanks Funny Fest, which is a fun thing where I pay them $100 and they give me 5 minutes of stage time. But between those two things happening, they let you meet with a real comedian. Chris Porter, who has a special on Netflix. Mm-hmm. He was accessible through text message anytime, day or night, for a week and a half to me. If I had any questions about my set, anything how I could tighten it, and I like had ideas, things I wanted to workshop, I could send him a message. He'd be right there. You know, it is worth the $100, 100%. If you are actually trying to learn from it, invaluable.
Sure, you put forth that effort.
Yeah,
you'll get your money's worth.
And after that first year of going in and learning just a few things about the basic structure of a joke and how badly I was fucking up all the time. Because no. The second year was a guy that does writing for, who's Adam Sandler's fucking henchman?
Swardson?
The Animal.
Oh, Rob Schneider.
There we go. A guy that does a lot of the writing for Rob Schneider's TV shows.
Okay.
Jamie Lithgow. There we go. Nope, that's a different guy. Somebody will find out what this was supposed to be. Please tell us. Because I don't remember. That's fine. He kept telling, he was like, you have so many interesting premises, but by golly, do I wish you would craft a punchline. And like, that stuck with me.
Yeah, I can see how that would be something that's pretty stick with you there for a bit.
Yeah. And so I still do weird premises, usually about just dumb shit that happened in my own life, because it turns out that has actually been a strange thing to live through. And so, sure, let's go amuse some other people with my traumas. That's fine. Yeah,
that is that bit of you can write good jokes, all that. Sometimes, though, the truth is often the funniest.
It's been my best shit.
Using your life and just what things happen that ends up just working out the best for you.
Well, I was real into Christopher Titus growing up.
Oh, okay.
Like I could do Norman Rockwell is Bleeding, line for line, inflection for inflection, before I could do any other stand-up special. Like that stuck with me because it was like a rallying flag for people that had shitty fucking parents and had to grow up in like the multi-car lawn house at the end of the fucking road, you know? Like we could get somewhere, we could do something, and like he reached people.
And he reached that group being clean because he was on TV a lot. Not saying he was like crystal clear or all that, but he was able to be on TV pretty regularly with that same sort of material, and you didn't always get that. At least for that, the shitty upbringing and the rough dad that always ends up with somebody swearing a whole bunch and talking about something else that you couldn't.
He
air
did not
on
ever
ABC.
shy away from dumbass.
Well, no,
I will say that.
But Archie Bunker could say dumbass, right? Like,
I don't know what the rules are. That's why I don't get to talk on big stages. I've never hidden anything from anyone who wasn't a lawyer or a judge or a cop.
That's fair. That's not bad.
Those aren't people.
I've hidden things from my kid, but that's because I'm selfish.
Well, I mean, I was very careful to never have a child.
He's like, I hid M&Ms.
It's a smart move to not. Kid's great, but
yeah, my dad was stingy. He would hide cocaine from us. And
isn't that greedy?
See?
I will say, one of the main ways that my dad was a fuck up in many respects, but one way I know that man loved me is that the day he realized that cocaine comes out in your sweat and can affect the children that want to play with you and hang out with you, that man did like a werewolf thing where he got chained, like handcuffed in the bathroom for a week. While he detoxed.
While he detoxed through it.
Yeah. And then he just never did cocaine after that because he knew that if he ever started again, he would never stop.
Right. Well, yeah, you get chained to a radiator toilet once. You don't want to go through that again.
I mean, if you find out it's only like a 5-day process, yeah.
I guess.
See, my dad knows love in larger quantities than I do, which is why he took care of 5 kids, and I have none.
Mm-hmm. He knew love by the kilo.
Yeah.
The fedora was big through your comedy for a while.
That's true. I even threw a big hissy fit to see it on its way out. There was, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, okay? If you don't know, listen up, because it's going to be important in your life if you're kind of a shitty person. Wearing a fedora, even if you are, in fact, genuinely a nice, gentle, kind human being, makes you look like a douchebag. To everybody, except for the few people who know your actual soul. Any new person who meets you makes the automatic assumption that they hate you. Here's what I know, okay? Here's what I know, is that I fought this for 2 years. Uh-huh. And at the end of it, someone finally went, just try it. See what happens if you go to Mike's for 2 weeks without the hat. See what happens. And I did. And what I did is I went from having 1 booked gig in an entire 3-month time span to having 8 gigs over the next month.
Yeah.
So, with no change in my comedy. None. The only thing that changed was the hat.
I'm going to tell you, we love bald heads right now. Hi.
It is the thing. You were, in the beginning, I remember going to Harvey's before we got to know people, and you were dude with the hat.
Yeah.
And it was like,
I've been fedora guy in many circles.
Like, they call the name up, and you'd be like, who is it? Oh, it's a dude with the hat. Okay, cool. And then you go through watching it, and then it was like, oh, Kris took his hat off. Okay.
Yep. And then I got pissed off about how well that worked. Mm-hmm. And so I started wearing increasingly more weird hats to every open mic I went to for 2 months.
Sure.
I think the culmination was at Bar 33. I was doing a show. Because it had gotten to that point. I was so mad about this. And I walked up there wearing a big-ass leprechaun hat, right? And I got partway through a joke where some asshole kept annoying me. And I told him if he didn't stop, I was going to throw my fucking hat at him. And he didn't stop. And so I winged it. But the best part was that underneath that big-ass green leprechaun hat was a tiny, rhinestoned black hat that was, rubber banded to my head. And that was, the best laugh I got the entire show. I lost that leprechaun hat, and it was worth it.
I hate the prop joke, but at the same time, that's so well done to have the little hat prepared already. I had
no idea what I was going to use it for. I had no idea what was going to happen. I was like, no, I need to make a Russian doll out of my head tonight.
The genius of the just in case hat.
I will never be able to do it again.
No, and it's one of those jokes. It never will work again. The situation will never come up again. But for that moment, it's genius.
So beautifully done.
There are some parts of your comedy career that, if I could have a time machine, there are moments I want to go back and go through again. Mm-hmm. That's one of them. I want to do that 5 or 6 more times.
Right. Do you have a moment in comedy that just really stands out for you? A one specific moment? I don't care if it's
I winged my hat, right? And
I guess we did. Yeah.
Oh, man. So, does it have to be while I'm on stage?
No.
Okay. So, the second year I did the Funny Fest, right? Mm-hmm. This is around the same time that Ukulele Russ has come to me, and we're about 1.5 years into me doing comedy at the Marlin now. We're going to call it comedy at the Marlin now.
Right.
And he's having me co-host. because now we've got like 6 other people to write comedian after their name.
Ah,
and he's
started
like,
a trend.
Yeah, he's like, anybody that wrote comedian after their name, you're the host for them. So be on deck for that, and you get 2 free drinks. And I was like, cool. I'm in. And that, it was like 3 weeks later is when the Funny Fest started back up again. And there was a guy in that class who, when I was leaving the first day, he came up to me and he was like, look, I want you to know I saw you last year when you went up. I was like, what? I'm so sorry. He's like, no, because I realized that, like, if you could do this, anybody can do this. And we laughed, but I could tell, like, he was just fucking with me, And he was like, really, though, like, you inspired me to come do this. Thank you. And, like, I gave that man a hug. And that is honestly, to date, the most beautiful moment I've ever had in comedy. Knowing that I got to inspire people to do the thing that they want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. That's better than any laugh you could get on stage, anything else. Like
the Funny Fest had me with an audience of 300 people genuinely laughing at my jokes. And that mattered to me less than this one man in this stairwell telling me that I inspired him. Like...
I like that one. I'm not going to belittle the other moments we've had, but that may be one of the best ones, just because I think that is all comedians' big thing is. It's why we do what we do, is so we can hear somebody else say, "Oh, I heard you, and it made me want to do something."
Yeah,
and it's like, oh my gosh, like That's
the first words I told Christopher Titus when I met him.
Yeah,
was that you were the reason I come out and do this. Thank you so much for what you do. Like, now I hated that he had follow-up questions like, "Hey, how often do you do mics?" And at the time, the answer was none because work was getting in the way. And he's like, "Look, man, don't be down on yourself. Get back into it when you can. Life matters. You'll be fine." And I've just never seen him since, which sucks because I've had times where I've been like doing well, and I'm like, "Why the fuck can't you be in town right now?"
Right.
I would love to run into you now. It'd be great.
I can tell you where I'm gonna be.
Yeah, it's fine. I kind of fucking hate you guys a little right now because I have been trying so hard to not become a middle-class suburban asshole. Right? With every fiber of my being, I have fought this by being the weirdest fucking, like, Andre from the League-esque motherfucker we have in the Portland comedy scene. Okay? I need you to understand how hard I've been trying to fight this. Okay? And until today, I've never, like, grasped why the fuck idiots spend so much money on beer koozies. And I've wanted to fight this thing for so long, and it's really fucking great.
All right, enough about you, Chris. Time to talk about the news.
Damn right.
There's been a lot going on. We got important things to talk about. Important things like...
Important, huh?
There's an artist who recruited 300 people to pose for a nude photo near the Dead Sea in Israel. Basically to draw attention to the fact that the Dead Sea is shrinking. He painted people white and had them stand out there.
Any particular reason they chose white, do we know?
It's to be salt.
It's because the Dead Sea is more salt than water.
Right.
And that's why everything that goes in it floats.
Sure.
Like if we go in it, we float.
And we know that global warming or whatever, all this is happening, it's changing. So he wanted to show that so more people will visit it to help take care of it, which I didn't 100% get how visiting.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
Going to be, but that's what.
Maybe because visiting implies donations, you gotta.
I guess like you gotta pay to get in to park your car.
Or I think it's gonna take a little bit more than that, man.
But also, there's not gonna be 300 naked people there when you go. It was just for the day.
There is if you plan accordingly.
Well, I mean,
like what the fuck?
They're doing it because
you can even paint them purple instead. You can one up this.
Reimbursing the water that goes into the Dead Sea
by making these people have to wash all of this off with gallons of other water.
Oh.
Is that really cool?
No. People are taking the water, using it for their resources and other things. So there's that. So here's my question. So these people, this was, they volunteered to do this.
Sure, I'd volunteer to be naked.
I was going to say, what cause would you volunteer, or what would you need to do to have to go get yourself painted naked?
No, I'm just going to go stand in a field with a bunch of other, like, naked people that are, like, in my area.
Mm-hmm. You would just for...
Yeah, a bunch of them probably going to be pretty hot.
Be like a weird... Okay, that's fair. It'd be like a weird, like... If you go... Right, yeah, the naked bike ride. I guess we have that.
I'm the lowest common denominator in all of these items.
Have you done that?
No.
So I was just wondering, I don't know, to me the Dead Sea, and I guess maybe because I'm not from Israel, but the Dead Sea doesn't...
It's got all
not
that
worth
biblical
it for
subtext,
me
you know?
I guess if there was something...
It's all religious-y.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't...
The Dead Sea isn't. That's about, like, going to a place where most things cannot exist because there's too much sodium. It's too much salt.
So why would I want to go there? If people...
Like, there are the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff,
because
right?
You
like
float.
That's the thing, though. Like,
you don't even have to hold your breath to float. Like, you have to do that in every other water.
I can go to a float tank.
Sea, you can just, like, hang out there, and there's no chance of you dying by drowning.
You say that.
I'm not a good traveler. Like, this is not a thing I would travel to go do. I wouldn't plan a trip.
This doesn't even look comfortable.
To go be a part of this. And, like, it'd be like, I guess if I was passing through, I happened to be in Israel, and someone was like, hey, would you want to do this? And I was 10 minutes away from there, maybe. That's all the jokes I had to make about that, really. I just thought it was absurd that these people did this.
I still think it's dumb that they painted everybody white so that those people have to go take showers, which causes them to use so much more water about a water shortage. There are better ways to be an activist. Please plan accordingly.
This story is an artist who really has it figured out.
Oh, I love this man.
For $84,000, an artist returned 2 blank canvases titled "Take the Money and Run."
Now, which ones take the money and which ones run?
right. That's far. It's hard to tell. But the artist, I guess, commissioned through I don't know if it was a school or the art gallery in, like, Michigan, where to do the piece, and he gave them the 2 blank pieces and took the money and ran, and he was, like, stoked about it. That was his thing. I gave him art. There it is.
Tell me it's not art.
What a genius. What a genius to be able to pull that off.
Oh, I'm sure they're trying to sue.
I'm sure.
He's talking about how he's not being paid enough for his work.
Motherfucker, they were going to pay you $84,000. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, like, butt in and tell somebody what they're worth. But, like, what the fuck are you mad about? You make twice my yearly salary with 2 blank canvases, you asshole.
I respect it.
Either way, it is one of those...
I've just adored this person from the get-go.
Good.
Fuck this art museum or whoever, because if I gave somebody $84,000, I was like, give me 2 pieces of art. Something pristine that really sheds light and mocks the current eco status. And somebody handed me back 2 blank fucking canvases called "Take the Money and Run." Fucking that's on me, buddy.
Right.
Good for you.
Should have been more specific. This is a fun one. We like to bring in sports into the podcast.
Feels like
as well.
home.
Right. This is what I thought. I was hoping so. A woman charged for running naked on football field while high on heroin in front of 8th graders, which really brings a whole nother level into the streaker game.
Missouri.
I mean, yeah.
I thought it was Alabama.
Affectionately referred to as Misery.
Oh, yeah. Then she looks like Misery, too. Holy cow.
Man.
Here's the thing, though. I read some of this. She's getting, like, charged with, like, sexual misconduct.
Right. That's the thing. And so
That's what happened.
In no way am I sympathizing with somebody who does this. But she should, right, in regular circumstances, she would just have been high on heroin, running around naked through the streets, and it is what it is. She was in a school where there's kids around, And so anything you do naked around kids is taken to the highest level. I mean, which it should be. I'm not saying it shouldn't be.
Automatic sex offender.
It's the same thing of like if you are drunken, you're walking home. Don't ever, pee near a school because if you get pulled over or you get
anywhere else, guys,
somebody finds you. It's different than peeing in like someone's front yard compared to just peeing behind a school building.
Yeah.
The school building, you can get in a lot of trouble for that.
Plus, they have cameras there, guys.
Right. Well, yeah.
Think about where you pee.
They shouldn't pee at a school anyway. I'm not saying people should. I'm just saying pee in your neighbor's front yard because you get in less trouble. Then
I'm saying find a business other than a school. Also, probably don't pee in your neighbor's front yard because they also probably have cameras.
Everybody's got a Ring camera.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to recognize you. You pee in somebody else's neighbor's front yard.
That's how you do it, yeah.
Yeah. So they
couple
don't
blocks
know who
out.
you are.
Yep.
Yeah. This is an educational podcast, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Also, don't do heroin near kids.
Well, see, I wonder...
Is a thing.
How far did she run to get to the school? Was she just getting high next to a school and then needed to go for a run? Or did she travel a while and then end up at a school? Okay. So I could see that happening.
All I'm seeing, it doesn't say how far she ran. But it did say she was looking for help because she thought she was going to die under the influence.
Sure.
And so she saw lights and jumped that fence.
The accidental schoolyard. And that's what changes her charges greatly.
Right?
If that were a Best Buy parking lot, it would be a whole different circumstance for her than the fact that it was a middle school.
I feel like that's fucked up, though. I feel like if you legitimately feel like your life is in danger and you're just heading towards a thing, that's very different from making the decision
She left her house naked, besides the scarf.
Yeah.
Right.
She had a scarf.
Well, it was cold out, so.
Yeah, you need a scarf.
Right. I mean, it is one of those, I guess that's also why you don't do heroin.
I feel like there are multiple reasons why you don't do heroin.
That would be
normally.
one.
One of them, yes, for
you
sure.
may accidentally streak through a middle school and take on way different charges than you were expecting to take that day.
Yeah, if that's something you're going to do, you want to do that on purpose.
That would be okay.
The worst thing I've ever done in a school was I used to live right across the street from an elementary school. And so for one, I have definitely been very high and very drunk in a playground.
Sure.
Just swinging on the swings. But then in the middle of winter, I was driving a piece of shit truck, right? And the snowplow had gone through, right? And it built up this berm where my truck should go. So I'd spent all day fucking digging out where my truck's supposed to live. And then at night, I tried to move the truck. And I spent 2 hours just trying to make that truck move. And it turns out if you just rev an engine and like burn through tire rubber in a parking lot for 2 hours in a 76 Ford, it will light itself on fire.
Oh, no.
And what I did when I saw this happening is I got out of the truck and then I ran to my house across the street and I shut the door and I began to get high.
Sure.
Now, I was about halfway through my first hit when it dawned on me that I had left the lights on. And it occurs to me, of course, now, as we've discussed, a school has cameras. Somewhere, I want this video footage, if I can ever have it. I want to watch me run out of a car that had just lit itself on fire into my house, wait 2 minutes, jump back out of that house, across that same street, back to the truck to yank the door open, slam the lights off, slam the door shut, run back to my house, and then still never once call the fire department.
Well, I like you turn the lights off because you didn't want to draw attention to it. Absolutely. Like, that makes sense. I get that.
It was going to kill my battery, was the important thing in my brain.
Rachel and I love TikTok a lot, more than people in our age demographic should.
I don't know. April Gallaty's got a pretty healthy obsession with it.
She does. She has a good following too. I've been seeing
bet.
a bunch of her videos through there. I'm not gonna lie, we watch videos very different. Our algorithm has created some pretty special ones for us.
Okay.
That's what TikTok does. So go ahead and put on some headphones, and we got some TikToks here. It's a mix. I picked 3 that Rachel hasn't seen. And she picked 3 that I haven't seen as well,
This
just
is
so
one of
there's
yours, right?
a fun little mix. Yes, this is one of mine. This looks like my buddy Barry Hellman. I say buddy, I don't know him at all, but go ahead.
Hi there, family around the world in this country. Barry Hellman here. Always check the wrapper of the condom and make sure it don't have any kind of weird hose or anything that's loose on top of it, because that means somebody's trying to set you up to get pregnant or disease.
This is Barry coming in with a little PSA to let you know.
Like,
that
we really want to get pregnant over here.
There's some people that do.
Oh, no.
Well, Barry's one of those middle-aged, not even middle-aged, he's like mid-50s-year-old man who uses TikTok to potentially pick up ladies, only that's not what TikTok's really used for, at least not the way I see it. And so he kind of ends up being a sad older man on his couch, letting ladies know what he would do for them, or what he could do for them if they were to go on a date with him.
I think the important thing to take away from this, though, is that that's just who he is. And then now he has a camera.
Yes. And he's able to release videos and get instant gratification, because Barry does have a pretty decent following for what it is, but it's because he's a creep. But I enjoy his videos. Just the fact, too, it makes me wonder how careful he is with a condom. There's no way he has to check a condom all that often.
Well, that just makes it easy to be careful.
It does.
Right.
I mean, I guess, right. It just, he keeps it in the brain just in case for when that happens.
Keep a tiny hat just in case.
No, ladies, no, you can't trick Barry if you're trying to get pregnant.
Barry.
Not Barry.
But also, message to Barry, no lady's trying to trick you. Not you. Like, maybe other people, but I want you to know, Barry, listen to me. Barry, not you.
Poor Barry.
It sounded important that he get this message.
Yeah, he does need to hear it. All right, what's our next one?
So this one is just, it's a PSA.
Sure.
This one is.
All right, TikTok. So this is me and my girlfriend. We just took a walk down to the park. Most Americans don't realize it, but you spend 99% of your time on phones. And basically, me and her just took a walk. Well, we moved to a city, or actually a smaller city, and we basically pretty much spent the last few minutes enjoying the peaceful quietness at the park. And I think I would encourage people to do that more often. Again, people spend 99% of their time spending on cell phones. So I think it would be good for people every now and then to get out of the house, go take a walk, enjoy the park, and just stop looking at your cell phone. It was actually pretty peaceful, and I think it would benefit everybody. So, it's pretty quiet around here where we're at, and I think I like it that way.
That's what TikTok is quite a bit of, is just, friendly couples giving PSAs, letting you know that you shouldn't spend all your time on your phone while using their phone.
Right, he's looking right at it.
Right. And the way to watch his PSA is via your phone.
Yeah.
So
That was my favorite bit.
I also feel like he's off on his numbers. 90%.
99.
99. No way.
Like, I don't sleep. Like, I don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
He
I
didn't
don't
even
draw.
try to
I don't
Google it.
Right.
He just spouted numbers off.
look. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Glad to know they spent their 1% going on a little walk. He said he spent a couple of minutes going on the walk. It's like,
He was just giving us the numbers that he thought were accurate based on his personal experiences. Clearly, Because even on this walk, he got 30 seconds into it where he was like, oh man, you know what I should do? I should tell other people to go for a walk on my phone.
Baby, get in real close here and just look all pretty and like, well,
Can you just play with my nipples for a while I talk to people on my phone?
That's why I gave it to you.
It's because it had nipple play?
Yes.
Well, thanks for knowing what I'm into, but also I have follow-up questions now.
I just know.
It's a lot of TikTok.
I get pretty drunk at open mics, but I don't think I'm that drunk yet. Well, these days.
All right. I think this one's mine.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
I think it is too.
Oh, it's not even.
So serious.
That's Tim. Tim is another one that I follow and watch a lot of his videos on. I guess I don't follow him because he doesn't show up in my For You page, so I watch him a lot. Tim is trying to get verified. TikTok, you need to verify Tim. He dresses up in cosplay and goes grocery shopping. He also does Spider-Man, and he went Christmas shopping. And that's his. The thing I love about this one the most is you watch it. He tried to put the pie crust back, but the guy working was stocking the shelf.
I'm gonna play it again.
And so he didn't want to bug him, so he just put it in his cart.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He's like, I'm just gonna buy it.
Right.
Fuck it.
He did not want the pie crust.
No. Why is that what he picked up?
Watch
Though?
Don't take it. Yeah, I don't know
You can
why.
see that look to him. I guess I'm going home with a pie.
I've been there, and so I feel his like, this is awkward if I put this back, so I'm just gonna, yep, we're taking this. Tim does a lot. That's just what he does. He grabs things. He goes, hey, isn't this cool? And then he puts it back. But he dresses up as Spider-Man and as the Joker. And he also did the Flash for a little while.
Okay.
And I've watched him a decent amount. Not enough to buy merch, but I've been very close. I like TikTok.
So I have this one.
Do you now?
All I can tell you beforehand, she's angry.
Oh yeah, you had to tell me that.
Look here, what you better know is old poke salad don't give any kind of a fuck. If you are a supervisor, an advisor, or a motherfucking sonvisor, you ain't finna talk to me any old kind of way, bitch. And I'll tell that to the motherfucking judge after I catch one for boxing you in your cock coaster. If you want to.
If you want to.
I wonder, who is she talking to?
No, she just got kicked out of somewhere. Is exactly what happened. She used the word supervisor and spiraled out of control. It's because somebody just told this woman no.
That's a good point.
And it was somebody with enough authority to say no and have that mean get the fuck out of my store. Because she was that woman in the store.
And her instinct after getting thrown out the store was to get on TikTok and let people know how angry she is.
She's mad.
Well, yeah, she's clearly the genetic mutation between the human lynx, right, and a chihuahua. And she has to, like, bark at somebody. And the thing that she could have barked at is gone now. He kicked her out of the store. And, like, dumb chihuahua brain can't process this. And so she goes to her people.
And we are blessed. And we get that. I'm absolutely okay with that. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
I'm going to end on the weirdest one.
As you should.
Uh-huh.
Finish strong.
Hold on, this is a big story. definitely is on leave right now. That so what happened was there was a Native kid in the class. He filmed it, or they filmed it because I don't know if it's a he or a she. They filmed it because they felt very uncomfortable.
No,
Right.
really?
Right. That was real in this time, and you know it's from this time because she has the mask on.
Right.
So it's very obvious on that. But the other part that I think of is that was obviously practice.
Yeah.
She worked on that at home.
Every year.
Which means, well, I don't know if she's done it every year because somebody would have filmed it before.
For a
But
couple of years.
either way, she was cool with it, and her husband had to probably listen to her jump around the house, making those noises, practicing that.
Look, when I thought it was just a lady doing a bird thing, it was kind of hot. So I don't.
Right. Yeah, right. I guess if she's not in the same room. But even...
And then you put some backstory to it. I was like, oh, this is a shame boner now.
Yeah. No, she is... she hasn't made a statement from what I've read and a few things, because I've read a couple of stories.
I mean, what the fuck is she going to say?
Right. That's why this is why I've looked to see if she said something yet.
She has no excuse.
And she knows.
But there is... my brain logically can grasp a lot of things in life. I can logically grasp having to steal something. I can even logically understand people who get in situations where they murder somebody. I can find certain ways, right? If they attack, whatever. There's no logical way I could think of as a teacher to be like, yeah, this is going to get my message across for what I want to say, is by doing a bit. I don't know exactly. Doing a lesson like that. I can't logically grasp my head around it.
You want to call it a bit?
You just don't understand.
Because his fondest hope is that it's meant to be funny.
Right.
Because that's the least harmful thing it could have possibly attempted to be.
Oh.
But even that is harmful.
That's what it's like, why? I don't know. And I want to know if she has kids. Because then, like, did none of her kids hear this and be like, hey, Mom, no, you shouldn't do this. This is not okay.
So here's the thing I've kind of questioned, okay? Mm-hmm. In the Alaskan education system, we are frequently taught dances and
sure.
You know, the culture of the Native Americans that populate Alaska.
Good.
And so I've definitely been in a class full of, 29 white people and one little black girl wearing headdresses.
Sure.
Doing chants.
It's not okay, but at the same time, they're trying to educate you. They're not trying to...
Yeah, plus ours was the actual chants and shit. That, I don't know what the fuck that was.
She said, "Ow, my toa."
Right.
So she's not doing the actual interpretation.
I can also relate because I grew up in Alabama.
I'm sorry.
Very close to Birmingham. In 4th grade, I went to a camp where they had us be slaves on the Underground Railroad just to educate us. But they were using blanks and real guns. It was terrifying. We had to run down trails. We had to have paperwork.
Field trip in the 90s.
See, again, you take the racism and the children out of this equation. We're back to hot. I just...
Yeah.
Jesus.
We also learned
he
that...
doesn't live here.
I mean, no. Gotta be careful about blanks, too.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Fucking Alec Baldwin.
I mean...
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to...
Nah, you can't. For me, to be honest, it's the one where, like, you could have named off a different Baldwin had shot somebody, and it would have been like, yeah, okay. And then somebody said Alec
It's
Baldwin shot
Alec.
somebody. I was like, oh my God, what? No way.
Well, it's because his wasn't because he was like murdering people. His was
Mm-hmm.
because he was a shitty businessman
Yeah.
and cut corners.
Mm-hmm.
And that got somebody killed.
Yeah.
And it's fucking negligence. And I hope this haunts him.
Bold. Okay. Yeah.
I feel very
That's fair.
strongly about people who wind up in positions of power abusing that power.
That is true. Because of what? The crew had walked off because of safety. The gun that they used had misfired multiple times.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody thought, though, that the cinematographer was overacting?
Like when it first happened.
Right? It's just that bit of like, the gun went bang, it's supposed to go bang, okay? All right, we get it. Huh?
I do have a palate cleanser.
All right.
Sometimes you think you look great. You're wearing a cute outfit and you think you look really great. Like right now, ow. I think I look really cute. I like my shoes and I like my outfit. But then what happens is I get closer. I get closer and I see my fucking face. I see my face and I see what happened when I zoned out while doing my makeup. I have a grass beard. I don't look great. I look fantastic.
It's not a bad skill to have while zoning out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, I would hope eventually it's better than like a third grader can do. But like, you
Sure,
know,
sure.
you start where you start.
Makeup is hard.
Oh yeah. I've watched Chelsea. I've always, I don't know, I had a roommate, Trina, that like she would do her nails. She would do her own nails on like the kitchen counter. And I would just hang out and watch. I don't know what it is. It's just a weird, it's just like a mesmerizing process.
Art is that way.
Yeah.
It's an art.
It
One
can
that I'm
be.
not good at it.
I'll say it
No,
can
for her,
be
it
an art.
certainly was.
It's-
Like,
Right.
she had been working on it.
Right.
Right.
Otherwise,
It can be an art.
Mhm.
But you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Oh,
baby.
absolutely. I know, and I like that she's able to express that on TikTok. She probably has a bunch of other ones where she's done other things. She's like a makeup artist. Did you not dive deep on her?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of makeup artists that do really good work. There's one
Yeah.
guy who did like Daffy Duck on his whole like upper body, and it was the entire Daffy Duck from his stomach up to his head, which is really cool.
I get a bunch of those, but
Yeah, she winds up on those. Otherwise,
this one I just thought was precious. It was a baby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
baby
was a-
It was
makeup
very
artist.
wholesome
it was. It
content.
was the wholesome, good way to close it out.
And I,
I like
get it
that.
because I zone out.
Mhm.
I have no clue what's happening.
You don't do art like that when you zone out, unfortunately, but
Well, maybe I could if you gave me.
gave you what?
What, crayons?
Yes. And paper.
We got plenty of crayons.
I was gonna
When
say,
you see
I've
my
seen
eyes
those
just
here.
buzz out.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm gone. I'm not listening to anything you say.
Uh-huh.
Maybe give me something.
You know, stick a pen
Okay,
in
that
your
works
hand.
up until you realize he's just giving you something every 30 seconds because you just never look like you're listening. Because, here's the funny part, not listening.
Just gonna zone out holding on to the pen that I hand you, and then later wonder, put that
What
down.
was I
and
doing
then,
with that? Was I writing a grocery list?
In crayon?
Was it in purple glitter? That's what I wanted.
Oh, you get glitter glue. You can really get some, like, words in,
Oh,
you know?
we have some.
I bet you do.
the joys of having a 6-year-old daughter is
Yeah.
you have plenty of glitter and all different glitter types.
We have all
We
the
got-
craft material.
I got real lucky that I never knew exactly how bad glitter was. I had 3 little sisters who had just the run of that house, but never once did my dad ever entertain the idea of glitter coming into the household. And now that I live with a girlfriend who
He's a
puts
smart
glitter
man.
on her face every time we go out, which means it's all over my counter and it will never
Yep.
leave. I get it.
You just get used to it. It fades in the background. You don't even notice it after a while.
I'm gonna have to pay a deposit on this place.
I was the tooth fairy for first time.
Yeah.
And I spilled the glitter because I was really nervous.
Trying to be all careful and quiet. Make a bit of a mess.
Spilled some glitter.
You have to say that was when the fairy burst into the room.
Yeah.
Jetpack.
Right. Kris, thanks so much for joining us, man. This has been great. We really appreciate having you. Is there anything you want to plug?
I mean, obviously, Everything and Nothing. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your shit. I mean, look me up, Kris Comedian, both with a K, on Instagram and Facebook if you want to figure out anything about where my comedy things are happening.
You can see those old videos that he's got on his Facebook. Check those out.
That one's Kris with a K, last name Cox. That's my personal one, so we're gonna be friends. All right. If you wanna see the shittiest videos I've ever put out, we gotta be friends.
That's
I'm
fair.
sorry.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, this has been Dying on the Inside. My name is Josh for Rachel. Thank you for joining us here at Beans.
Here at Beans.